Dominic Caddy here with Stare Down TV in association with Stare Down Fighting and the Herb Kingdom CBD. I'm here with Bellator undefeated light heavyweight Jordan Young. Jordan, my man, how you doing?
My man, thanks for having me on today.
No, man, thank you for coming on. I can imagine there's plenty more things you'd be doing in Florida than chatting to me, so I do appreciate it. So Jordan, straight off the bat, mate, how are things going? How are things going at American Top Team right now?
Tremendous. I'm getting back in the full swing of things. After my last fight, I went and did a little bit of healing up. I didn't have surgery or anything, but I got a PRP shot. And then I've been doing a little bit of physical therapy, just getting the body healthy. I've been fortunate enough to be healthy throughout my career, like through the fights. More so, all the damage I've taken has been in the gym. You know what I mean? Just wear and tear.
Well, that's it, mate. And the one thing that's kind of always mentioned about you on fight card stuff is you came to the game not late. We wouldn't say you came to the game, but you didn't have some people start off really, really young, and kids they move their way up. You're 24 years old. So just give us a little bit of a background about yourself, like when you really got in the full swings of MMA training.
Yeah, I say about 10 years ago when I was 14, I started training a little bit, but at 14 years old, I didn't have the focus or the understanding of what I really was partaking in. About 15, I started taking it a little more serious. At 16, though, is when I started competing in jiu-jitsu tournaments. And at 16, my mindset kind of changed and my body changed as well. And I started feeling like, this is what I was going to do. I started getting sponsors. My mom is a real estate agent in the city that I'm from. She had a lot of good connections. She helped me build my base, and I started focusing on MMA from 16 onwards. There wasn't like, a lot of kids at 16, 17, 18 are like trying to put their eggs in different baskets. I'm going to go to college. I want to, do this. I didn't, it was MMA training, jiu-jitsu training, boxing training, jiu-jitsu tournaments, traveling to train. And that's pretty much how I'm here. You know what I mean? I felt like when I turned 18, I fought like 5 amateur fights. I turned pro as a 19-year-old. At 18, though, I already was a professional in my training and my nutrition, and most importantly, like in my techniques. You know what I mean? I wasn't the fighter that I am today at 19 years old, but I was definitely technically sound in all areas. So I think that's what I came late to the game, but I didn't start with just like, oh, I'm a jiu-jitsu player or I'm a wrestler. I came into the game training everything, you know what I mean, all at one time.
And when you see, these young phenoms, we'll call them, the people that are killing it in jiu-jitsu at like 7, 8 years old, it's phenomenal. But do you ever feel like there's a fear of burning out before you even reach, the time?
There's 2 flips to the coin, because there's the one side, there's the kids that stay focused, stay in it. They keep their love for this, whatever sport it is that they're doing, and they go on to be animals, you know what I mean? And then on the flip side of the coin, there's the kids that kind of burn out, and or maybe they get to an age where they're like 17, 18, and it's at that crossroad where it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want to focus on girls and partying, or do you want to focus on your goals and ambitions and the hard work? And some of the kids worked hard all of their childhood, and then they get to that position, and they want to see what hanging out is about, because they've never had the opportunity to do it. So I think that there has to be a good balance for young kids that are coming up. It's weird for me, because I remember being the 17, 18-year-old, and everybody was like, yo, this kid is a phenom, he's gonna be the future. Now I'm 24, I'm still young, but I'm turning 25 in November. I'll be a full-grown man at that point. I'm still a kid, you know what I mean? Like, in the sense of being young, I haven't even entered my prime yet, but it's weird being like a full-grown man, not considered a kid anymore,
Yeah, like you say, there's all these different crossroads, and like you say, you're hitting those mid-20s and being seen as one of the top prospects in Bellator, especially in the light heavyweight division. It must bring added pressure, but added fuel to the fire. Coming off your last fight, your last 5 fights have all been by finish. Like 9 out of your 11 pro victories have been via finish. How is it going in terms of the Bellator push? We've seen Bellator. It used to be seen as a place where older fighters would go to finish off their career. But some of the young kids that are coming up now through Bellator, the likes of yourself, AJ McKee, these young up and comers. How is it in terms of a push for Bellator? Because I know you've discussed it previously.
Yeah, I like to be honest is the main thing, and business is business. I enjoy Bellator. I built a good life for myself here. But at the same time, I think the differences between me and like a AJ McKee or a Gallagher or some of these other young stars, a Dylan Dennis, is that I'm getting paid. I'm happy with my numbers for a young kid, undefeated fighter. But I'm not getting the amount of fights or the frequency. And also I don't feel I'm getting the necessary push, but I don't my self accountability is high. You know what I mean? I try not to do too much complaining, and I definitely don't try to compare my situation to other people's situations, because everybody's different. You know what I mean? Some people have countries behind them. Some people know different people. It's all about who you know in the game. But to answer your question, I'm a very intelligent young fighter, and I know that I can do a lot of things, and it will get my name out there, and people will catch on. But for it to happen faster and for it to stick, getting pushed through like Bellator's marketing machine, you know what I mean? That never hurts, and I haven't necessarily been pushed through that. I haven't had the same push that some of these other young guys have had, but it's okay, because everything happens in due time, and I'm 11-0 now. I have one fight left to handle this year, and I'll be 12-0, and we'll see what the future holds for me.
And is that already booked? Is your next fight booked?
No, I'm hoping to be booked here in the next 2 to 3 weeks for November or December.
Nice, mate. And I think, you're saying about the push and stuff. I think with MMA fans, the originals, and still to this day, I think there's always that essence. With boxing, it's always been heavyweight boxing has been the premier. Obviously, you have the lighter fighters and making names, but what really started the UFC and MMA in the mainstream was the light heavyweight division, the likes of Chuck, Tito, and then obviously Forrest and Stephen Bonner. All of these fighters have come up. Even now, John Jones. It's always been a special place for fans to have that next up-and-coming light heavyweight fighter.
Yeah.
For you in this weight class in Bellator, do you see anyone that you think, okay, this is going to be the progressive step? This fight could be the one that really puts me on the forefront of people's perception of the light heavyweight division?
Yeah, there's only a few names to pick from in Bellator. Honestly, there was a few directions to go for it. Like after this last fight for me, I think that Phil Davis is a very, very well respected name. He's one of the only available guys. If you look at everyone who's in the light heavyweight division, a lot of guys are booked. Alessio Sakar is my teammate. Rafael Calario just moved up into the division. He's my teammate. He's getting ready to fight the Russian Nemkov. So he's booked. Liam McGarry has a broken jaw. I would have liked that fight. I think that's an exciting fight for the fans. I would have liked to done that one in Hawaii, honestly, but he has a broken jaw. Yeah, I feel like there's some names there. Leo Leche. I was scheduled to fight him. Something happened. He wasn't able to make it to the fight. I ended up fighting this young kid this last go. I'd like to run the Leo Leche fight back. He's a judo world champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. He's on a two-fight losing streak, but it's to Phil Davis and Chris Honeycutt, two well-respected fighters. If you look at me and what I've done so far, I'm 11-0 with, like you said, 9 finishes. I haven't been on the main card yet. I haven't seen TV yet. You know what I mean? So I think that Leo Leche would be a good introduction to national TV for me. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is my last fight of the contract. I don't think a lot of people know that. I haven't spoke on it. So after this, we're entering free agency, and that's not to say that I've already chosen which direction I'm going to go, but there would be business to sat down and do. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to handling the business portion after this next fight.
I can imagine, mate. And who would deal with that? Do you have a management? Does Dan Lambert get involved in that? Like, who would discuss these new decisions with Bellator and whoever else?
Yeah, I have a beautiful team, the American Top Team. I love to speak to all of the higher ups in American Top Team, get their opinions. Everyone's so knowledgeable and been in the game in so many different situations with high level fighters. But I do have management as well. Janice Sports, based out of California. Matt Uptaker and Kyle Schultz, beautiful management team. They have a good roster of fighters as well, but I can only speak for my relationship with them, and it's gone tremendous. They've taken good care of me, and I think I've been with them for 3 fights now, 3-0, and the business outside of the fights has been tremendous. I'm happy with it, so I'm looking forward to continuing that business as well. We'll be entering our second renegotiation together.
No, it's quality to hear, mate. Sort of keeping on to American Top Team, I always feel like in MMA, there's always that one gym that everyone talks about. Obviously, there's so many known gyms, ATT, AKA, Team Alpha Male. At one point, everyone was talking about all their fighters coming out Team Alpha Male. Right at this moment in time, I feel like a lot of the eyes are on American Top Team because of the Jorge Masvidal's, the Colby Covingtons, Greg Hardy, all of these fighters. There's a lot of, I don't mean to say drama around ATT, but there's just a lot of talking points around it. In the actual gym itself, though, what are your, what's the mindset? You've obviously got the most dominant woman in MMA right now. You've got the loud talking Colby Covington about to fight Usman, Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz. Like, what's the vibe like in ATT?
It's all business, man. It's like, it's an amazing thing to see fighters and coaches leave on fight week, and then the next week you'll see them again. The coaches are right back in on Monday. They fly in Sunday. They get right back to work Monday. To see somebody like George go handle his business, he comes back. He's flying out of town every weekend. He's at the UFC fights. He's at, he's over here. He's over there out of the country. He's back on Monday. Everyone's in training, you know what I mean? And it's just motivating. It's a real good energy in the gym. We had a busy summer. We handled our business. We had a lot of great fights. And, it's always booming at American Top Team. That's the thing, I'm right here at headquarters, and every day there's new faces, new training partners, always new bodies dropping through. So it's always an exciting day in South Florida.
Good, man. Like you say, it's been a busy summer. I suppose the pinnacle, the highlight is going to be is Dustin flying over to Abu Dhabi, fighting in a couple of weeks. I can imagine a lot of the mindset is on that right now. Sort of from yourself right now, how's sort of the mindset for himself?
Yeah, watching Dustin is always an amazing thing. Dustin is one of the guys that when I was a teenager growing up and I was figuring out that I wanted to do this, I was watching the Fightville documentary, and Dustin moved to American Top Team when he was 23 years old. That's the same age. I believe I was 22 when I moved there, but around the same age, you know what I mean? He's somebody that I've kind of not molded my career after, but I've watched him since I was young, and to see him at this point now is an amazing thing. It's spanned over 2 weight classes. This has been a long time coming.
Not exactly, mate. Yeah, he sort of thrived like that. For yourself, obviously, like you said, there's new faces all the time. Do you have any sort of main training partners around the light heavyweight, the heavyweight sort of weight classes?
Yeah, for sure. Rakim Cleveland, he's in the PFL. He moved out here from Iowa. I was training with him as a teenager. He's always a body that I train with. Alexander Roddick, whenever he's in town, we get training in, of course. Rafael Cavario, the former Bellator 185 champion. Me and him got a lot of work in before our last fights in Dackerville. Also, I'm trying to think here. Shoeface, UFC middleweight, getting ready to fight Uriah Hall. Beautiful jiu-jitsu, some of the best jiu-jitsu in the gym. Johnny Evelyn, he's a 5-0 Bellator middleweight. He's an all-American wrestler. Beautiful wrestling from Mizzou. So, I have a lot of training partners, but a lot of specialists too. If I need wrestling, I got the perfect look for it. If I need, Muay Thai, I got the perfect look for it. If I need jiu-jitsu, perfect look. So that's one of the best things about having such high-level training partners all in one facility like that.
That's good to hear, man. That really is. I can imagine living in Florida, many possible distractions. Whether or not you take the distractions, that's up to you. But do you ever, you have that mentality of, your focus right now, like I say, you've got 1 fight left. Do you see other fighters, is it, you see other fighters sort of falling off the path and you see them enjoying that Florida lifestyle? Because I can imagine it's very enjoyable. Do you find it's your need to pull people aside in that team effort, or is it that people are ever going to go down their path? It's for you to focus on your thing. If they want to take their eye off the ball, that's up to them, kind of thing.
Yeah, everybody's at a different spot in life. You know what I mean? Like something that I always talk to people around me about is having a dog mentality. You know what I mean? Like I got a Great Dane. If I go in the kitchen right now and take out a New York strip steak and I cut it up and put it in his dog food bowl, he's gonna run through that. And as soon as he gets through that steak, he's gonna come back to me and his tongue's gonna be out. You know what I mean? Like he's always hungry. He's never satisfied. He always wants more. That's the same mentality that I try to keep. Of course, after the fight, like I told you, I was doing some PT. So I think for like probably 2 weekends after the fight, I was out in Miami getting after it a little bit. But it's all about balance and just understanding, knowing yourself and knowing your body as well. Like I'm in great shape. My body fat's low right now. So for me to go have a little bit of fun and enjoy the fruits of my labor is like a good thing for me, because when I'm in the gym, I'm locked in and I don't get out. You know what I mean? But also, it's one of those things where like your self accountability has to be right, because in this sport, no one's gonna catch you if you fall. You know what I mean? There's only one person in the cage, and that's you. So that's the beautiful thing about this sport.
And it really is, mate. And kind of go back to sort of my final question, really, in regards to you got one more fight left with Bellator, and you're in that position right now where there's so many organisations coming up, like the PFL, like One, like Bellator is still growing, like you say, Bellator Europe, and you're in that position where, like I said previously, if you're a light heavyweight and you rattle off some impressive wins, it doesn't matter what organisation you're in, you're getting talked about as right up there. For yourself now, you say you want to sort of finish this career, you want to finish this year with one more fight, going to 12-0. Is there like a timeline in play or a game plan in place of when you want to be knocking on the door for a title, regardless of the organisation?
Yeah, honestly, I've been healthy. I've been Bellator for rolling up on 3 years. I've been healthy the whole 3 years, and I think I fought 7 times, so it's not quite up there. I think if I would have had about 2 more fights in that time period, there's been 2 or 3 times where I've sat on the bench for 6 months or more. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But like, I think I could have 2 more fights in my career right now. I could be 13-0. But to answer your question, I would like to finish this year out at 12-0, regardless of what organization it is, whoever I sign with next, whether it's re-signing with Bellator or whoever. I'm going to need to sit down, you know what I mean? Proper business. I would like to sit down and speak face to face with whoever it is that I'm signing with. And honestly, I'm turning 25 in November. I think that another 3 to 5 fights and I'm in that position. Honestly, I'm young. I have the personality. I have the record. I think the last thing to catch on is just people noticing. And that's out of my control. You know what I mean? That's going to happen regardless.
That's it, man. And would you say you had a dream opponent, or like just the fight you're aching for, regardless of organisation? Just there's somebody out there you think, that's the fight that would be the fight for me. That's the main goal.
The money fight, whoever the biggest money fight is, you know what I mean? If that's John Jones, if that's Ryan Bader, whoever that fight is. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys in here that I see signed to my organization and different organizations that I would love to get in there with. You know what I mean? Like I see holes in a lot of people's game, and I'm sure people feel the same way about me. That's why we get to get in there and fight, though. So I think that fans can expect a lot of exciting fights from me coming in the future, and things are just heating up for me. Honestly, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of what's to come. Say, anybody who's listening, be sure to follow my Instagram at JAY185. I'd say that's my most prevalent social media. You can keep up with me there. What I do show to the public,
Quality, mate. I'll be sure to put all your information, your contact information in the details below. But Jordan, mate, I appreciate the time. I really do. What's the rest of the day like? It's your mornings. What's the rest of the day like for you?
Yeah, so I'm about to go hit some Muay Thai at 11 right here at American Top Team. And then when I get out of that, I'm going to come back, take care of my Great Dane, and later on go crush a swim and enjoy that South Florida weather.
Well, mate, I hope you do enjoy it. I really do appreciate the time. Jordan Young, thank you very much. And we'll catch up very, very soon.
My man. Later.
See you later. Bye-bye, mate.